I am an atheist, more specifically an agnostic atheist, meaning that I see no credible evidence to warrant a belief in a god or gods, although I can definitely, and most certainly will, change that fact should the evidence present itself. I agree that everyone should be free to believe whatever they want to, no matter how irrational or immoral it might be. Belief should be up to the individual. And that's something that no one should be able to take from another person. I believe in freedom of belief, but what I don't accept is when that freedom gets used and abused by religious fundamentalists to justify their atrocious, immoral, and unkind acts. Of course, I can draw attention to the many genocides caused in the name of God, but that to me is a little extreme. There are, of course, some more fine examples, modern day examples, that perfectly highlight exactly why religious belief can be dangerous. The bombing of abortion clinics is one that I definitely take to heart. 9/11 would be the example on everyone else's mind. How religion tries to seep itself in the law, in education, in politics, places where it doesn't belong. And this is not an isolated incident. This is not cherry picking something out of context. And this is not to be relativized by the occasional goodwill or charitable act by a few religious people. You see, I have no problem with religion, despite how much I find it to be irrational and how much I find it to be reprehensible. I have no problem with religion. Until, that is, until that religious belief causes people to hurt others. Those of us who are skeptical against religion are usually not skeptical solely based on what it's done in the past, but rather what it continues to do in the present, and how what it does in the present is linked to what it did in the past. What do I mean by this? Well, what is the source of all the trouble that religious fundamentalists take to heart? What could cause normally moral people to do immoral and irrational things? Nothing but dogmatic belief. The system of which people accept with absolute certainty, and no one, no matter how great in number, no matter how strong the conviction, could convince them that they're wrong. Dogmatic belief, whether theistic or anti-theistic in origin, is dangerous and it is hurtful. Unfortunately, a lot of religions are dogmatic, and it's too bad that some of its followers take what their religion says and uses it to justify all sorts of atrocious acts. If a god or gods really did exist, and atheists were to present sufficient evidence to show that this god or gods existed, I wouldn't be an atheist anymore. And I wouldn't mind not being an atheist anymore, because I'd rather stay truthful to what is actually occurring in reality, rather than live in my own happy fantasy delusion. And there's nothing else to it. Well, yeah, there is. The problem is that theists haven't stepped up to the plate. That's not to say they haven't tried. It's that it's not sufficient enough, at least to merit reasonable belief in a god or gods, much less their particular god or gods. Unfortunately, people's beliefs influences how they make decisions, and their decision-making process influences their actions. So, if your beliefs are disgusting and reprehensible, inevitably your actions will reflect what you believe. You can honestly not expect someone to believe in hateful, such reprehensible, and such misanthropic concepts as original sin, as hell and heaven, as vicarious redemption. You cannot expect people to believe in those things and not act based upon those beliefs. There's a fairly unfortunate trend I've noticed in the world. Nothing really survives in this world. No concept, no idea. Nothing survives in this world if it cannot make money. And I'm sorry to say, religion is no exception. Now, you can of course point to charities that are run by religious organizations, and that's done on a voluntary basis. Maybe you might say that some people really would want to spread the word of God or their particular God or gods on a completely voluntary basis. And mission trips are often an example of volunteer work through religious followers. But really, where would religion be in this world if it didn't make money? If churches did not make money, if pastors were not paid, if the Pope was not rolling in money, where would religion be? The only way a religion can survive is if it knows how to market itself well. And I'd have to say, many religions do a fairly damn good job marketing themselves. Desirability of a certain outcome, like the existence of a god or gods, is very pleasant to some, and people will easily fall prey to that. Unfortunately, desirability is not a requisite of the truth, and you should not believe in something just because it might make you happy. Religion makes its followers happy, and like any good product, that's how it succeeds. But again, religion is a business, and like any business, there are always those who are out to scam their customers. Religion is once again not an exception. There are 101 ways that people can find to scam the easily gullible religious follower. Of course, this does not apply for all followers of religion, but with irrational beliefs, like those present often in religion, comes credulity. And with a lot of credulity, inevitably comes the fact that people will take advantage of that credulity. I'm just sad to see how many people are still being scammed by those assholes like Peter Popoff in the world. So why do I speak out against religion? Because it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, and people should stop devoting all of their effort to something they can't even prove is real. So by all means, if you want to believe in irrational and immoral things, if you want to let a book tell you exactly what you must do in life, if you want to be scammed out of your money and your time, if you want people who think irrationally, people who let credulity and lack of evidence guide their thinking, if you want to let these people plague your nation, by all means, be my guest. But I won't. And I'll continue fighting the good fight. Thanks for watching, and may the truth always be heard. Peace out.